So Dan Ndoye may be set to leave Forest and he's wondering why he isn't playing. Welcome to some Forest transfer news and rumours. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome back to some Forest news. I'll tell you what, it's been a quiet week, which is really nice in the Forest world. A bit of calm. Hopefully the players are training away. Anderson did his thing with England and what have you. But we got some transfer news for you. So make sure you're strapped in and make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're hyped and subscribed and check out the merch store because I hope ain't nobody stupid enough to write us off, as the great man said. You can get this shirt, many more, over on the merch store. Use code FFTV. I've left it up there for 15% discount for you guys, so go check it out. Okay, let's jump into the news. But before I do, I want to say a massive shout out to Keith. He's been probably our longest serving mod here, and he recently lost his father, and I'm sure you guys would like to pass your condolences on. Many of you will know Keith and what a great guy he is. So if you want to put some messages on, Keith, I'm sure you're watching at some point. I hope you and your family are well. Please give us a shout if you need anything. So remember, there are some things that are more important than football. And but let's move on to talk about the football stuff and Dan Ndoye. Now, Dan Ndoye seems to perform when he goes away on international duty. And there's been a lot of reports now linking him from a move away from Forest. One of those words surely is right. Now, this is coming from Tuttosport, which is the Italian outlet. And they've even interviewed Dan Ndoye, and I just want to give you some quotes of it. Dan Ndoye has said, "I don't get many minutes at club level, but today I showed I have some quality," speaking after his international game. He goes, "I feel great with Switzerland and I want to enjoy these moments." He goes, "It was important for me to get some playing time and also to score. Why don't I play for Nottingham Forest? ? And he goes, "I ask myself that too." Now, I find that quite a fascinating statement. Look, many of you know I've not been his biggest admirer since he's come to Forest. After a couple of games, I kind of wasn't seeing too many signs from him. I have to say, under Pereira, though, I think he's looked a lot better. Still not at the level I would like from a winger. And I don't know why he's come out and said these things. Like, I'm asking myself that too. You haven't shown enough in the Forest shirt. Be it goals, be it assists, be it chances created, be it taking on a fullback or anything like that. I don't think to have that kind of chest about you. It kind of reminds me a bit of Freuler. Now, Freuler is a player I've rated, and I rated him when he was at Forest. I think he was played out of position. And they're not the similar players in terms of attributes, don't get me wrong, but they are similar that when Freuler went away on international duty for Switzerland, he suddenly looked like goddamn Patrick Vieira on the pitch for them. He comes back at Forest, Cooper was playing him in a 6, and it just wasn't working out. He was playing too deep. Now, I don't think Dan Ndoye's been misprofiled. He is a winger, but he seems to play better on international duty than he does at Forest. And that, for me, is probably the biggest red flag, because international football is more so, I would say, closer to European football than it is to Premier League football. So that pace and the style that Switzerland are playing, and of course, depending on the opposition they're playing against, will suit Dan Ndoye. And therefore, that's probably why he's struggling. And it's been nearly a season now, and I don't think it's quite worked. But I don't know if I would sell him yet. I'm going to contradict myself here. As I mentioned earlier on, I've seen a couple of signs of life from him with Pereira. There's still 7 games to go, and I wouldn't rush to any decisions. Now, there are 2 clubs that are interested in him, according to the sources from Italy, and they are Napoli and Inter Milan. They are keen to bring him over because he works in Serie A. We saw what he did, obviously, at Bologna beforehand. Now, let me just go through some of the details for you here. So it says Napoli are also keen on the player. The 25-year-old is one of the hottest names for Serie A clubs ahead of the summer transfer window. They know how he is struggling at Nottingham Forest, having gone from playing in European to battling relegation. Inter are also chasing him, as I mentioned. Both Italian clubs are ready to make an attempt for him amidst belief that a return to Italy can reinvigorate Dan Ndoye's career. I don't know. If Forest were going to sell him, according to these reports, it says Forest are believed to want 35 million euros for a permanent sale. This can prove to be quite a high selling price for the Serie A leaders, who will look at the possibility of executing an initial loan deal. This has been described as a Kanji-style move, as Inter can add a conditional obligation to buy in the deal. That would mean a loan with a near obligation to buy for 35 million euros. Now, Forest paid about 40 million euros for Dan Ndoye, but remember, once we get to the end of the season, you got amortization, which brings that down. So 35 million would break Forest even. I actually don't think Forest would mind if he went on loan for a season and the obligation was agreed at 35 million euros, because PSR profit-wise, that'll take another year off and it would make it a lot more attractive for Forest to get it over the line, right? So can I see it happening? Unless Dan Ndoye does something miraculous in the next 7 games, and you know what, I think he will have 1 or 2 games where he does heavily impact, be it from the bench or be it in the Europa League or something like that. I still feel there's a Dan Ndoye moment to come this season, even though I don't fully rate him. Now, would I cry if he left? Would this be a Stan Collymore moment for me? Of course not, right? If he's going to go. I'm not really too fussed who wants to stay and who wants to go this summer. We are definitely going to see some exits, obviously depending on where we are come the end of the season. We are going to see some big name go. So if Dan Ndoye was looking ahead of where we are now, let's just for the hypothetical sake say someone like Elliot Anderson goes, Gibbs White goes, Murillo goes. I don't think all 3 will go, but those are going to be the names we're going to hear a lot about over the summer. This kind of opens some potential opportunities for someone like Dan Ndoye, who can play in a 10, or a McAtee, or someone like that, if Gibbs White were to go, who can go into that position and start to prove themselves. Dan Ndoye would have had a year in England, a year in the Premier League, would have started to feel better. And there's been plenty of examples of players that have this lag when they move from a European club to a Premier League club, and then suddenly second season, they suddenly look like a world beater. But I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. And if he wants to go, cool, go. But I think Forest, if they're going to do it, if they want to recoup as much money as they can, for someone who hasn't kicked on, whose valuation probably hasn't moved since we bought him, getting a loan deal locked in with an obligation to buy, or a conditional obligation to buy. And what that means would be like we did with Douglas Luiz, like X amount of games played triggers an obligation, that kind of thing. Then fine, I'm for that. But don't just write him off yet. There's still a game or 2. Remember I said that to you guys, that he could do something that changes your minds on him. But get your thoughts in on Dan Ndoye. Would you be willing to let him go or not this summer? Get your thoughts in the comments. Go check out the merch store. I love this shirt. Let me know what you think of it. Use code FFTV for a 15% discount. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.